Stephanie, is something bothering you? You barely slept last night. You didn't touch your breakfast. Is something wrong? Ridge, what are you doing here?
Spent the night in the guest house. Is there a problem with that?
I have a problem with you.
Stephanie?
It's all right, Dad. Apparently Mother knows.
Knows what? What's going on here?
This is what's going on.
I know this must seem kind of strange. We don't even know each other that well, and here I am sharing something so personal.
Brooke, I'm just glad that you called. You don't need to be alone. Not at a time like this.
It wasn't that long ago when you were reassuring me that everything was going to be okay, and that we'd find Rich and Bridget. Little did I know then. I look at this photo. It's just hard to believe that something like this could have happened.
Are you really sure that it did?
Actually, that's why I called you over here. I know that you're a man of high moral integrity, and you're someone that I can trust. So did I make a mistake by sending Ridge away? Am I just overreacting? Please, Hector, tell me that I'm wrong to be so angry with my husband.
Oh, you're awake.
I never really went to sleep.
All night? You didn't sleep all night?
No, I was just, feeling guilty, mostly, of making you give up your bed.
You didn't make me give up my bed. I insisted. Besides, I love to sleep topside.
Well, thanks.
You hungry?
No, not really.
You still upset about last night?
Yeah, how can I not be?
You said something about your mom and Ridge breaking up.
Yeah, which wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Amber.
Amber? What's Amber got to do with this? You know what? I don't want to know.
No, actually, it's okay. I was gonna tell you last night.
Okay, what's Amber got to do with this?
Do you remember the girl that I told you about? The one that in Big Bear was crying out for help?
Yeah, the one that you said was in trouble and you followed into the woods?
Yeah, well, she wasn't in trouble. She was causing trouble for me and Ridge. It was Amber. She trapped us in the mineshaft.
Okay, now you've totally lost me. Why would she want to trap you?
It's a test to prove to Mom that if Ridge and I were alone and no one was watching, she thought that we would...
You'd what?
You know...
So you're telling me that Amber set this whole thing up in the mineshaft? Like as a trap to get you and Forrester to... You practically froze to death. She should be put away for life.
Yeah, I know. If it's left up to Ridge, she will be. But, you know, she got what she was after.
What's that?
When we were down in the mineshaft,
Yeah.
Ridge kissed me.
He kissed you? You mean like kissed you?
It's not like it sounds. It was honestly nothing. Besides, I was so out of it, I don't even remember it.
Well, then how do you know what happened?
Because Amber planted a hidden camera in the mineshaft. Took pictures, showed them to Ridge, and he didn't want to be blackmailed, so he showed them to Mom, and you can imagine how upset she was.
Pictures? Of And he showed them to her? My God!
I know. We've hurt Mom so deeply with this before. She even warned him if he ever did anything like this again, the marriage would be over. But that's not what this is. This is not a betrayal.
That's exactly what it is. It is a betrayal. You've been betrayed. And your mother, by Forrester.
No, Nick, we were freezing to death. It was desperate. He thought I was slipping away.
So what? So what? He kisses you to what? Revive you? To bring you back?
I guess he was trying to comfort me.
And how do you know that? You said that you were out of it. That's what you said. How do you know what he was going?
I do. Rich would. He loves my mother very much. He would never do anything to hurt her, especially after he's promised. This is all Amber. It's her sick need for revenge that's caused all this trouble.
You're wrong, Bridget. Bridget is the one who's sick. Sick. For what he's done to you and for what he's done to your mother. And he's not getting away with it. Not this time.
Is that what you think? That you overreacted?
I was hurting. I felt betrayed. And no matter what Ridge said, the pain just got deeper and deeper. So much so
That you had to send him away.
still, I am trying to see this from Ridge's point of view.
The kiss, you mean?
Yes, and he said it was innocent, but
Is there such a thing as an innocent kiss? I mean, when it's between your husband and your daughter?
he said he was trying to comfort her.
Because he thought she was dying.
Well, she was dying, and he really did help her hang on.
What, do you think you're being too hard on him?
I know that he regrets what happened.
And yet, from what you told me, you made it very clear to him about going there again with your daughter.
And he promised me he wouldn't. And that's what really hurts the most. He knew how I felt, and he knew what was at stake. And yet he still did it.
This kiss never should have happened, Ridge.
Dad, I had no idea we were being set up.
What does that have to do with anything? My God, Ridge, I was up in Big Bear when this happened the first time. I saw you and Bridget, and God help me, I looked the other way. But I swore to God I would never do that again, even if it means...
What, believing Amber over me? That's why she set this up, Dad, so that you and everyone else would think I'd crossed the line.
You did cross the line!
For God's sakes, we were freezing down there. The last thing on my mind... Where'd you get this picture? Did you get it from Amber?
No, Sally brought it to me. And she's threatening to take it to the press.
Sally?
Yes, Clark's hands aren't clean in this whole thing either.
What?
Yes, she's very worried about her business, what's going to happen to it, especially if the top two people in her company get carted off to jail.
Look, the only thing I care about right here is Bridget and how much she's been hurt by this. God, Rich, how could you be so reckless? Putting your marriage and putting your marriage and your family in jeopardy
Look,
like
for the
this?
last time, that is not what it looks like.
Oh, so you say. But even though you know that in your heart...
How do you know it's in my heart? None of you know what's in my heart. I know what was in my heart when we were down there. It had nothing to do with lust or desire, and had everything to do with compassion. Come on, Dad, you saw Bridget the next day in the hospital. You think I'd take a life and death situation and take advantage of... Amber almost killed us down there. And everyone's blaming me. Well, I'm sick of it. Sick of taking the rap for something that I wasn't responsible for. I didn't do anything wrong. If you guys are so willing to believe the worst, if you have that little faith in your son, but to hell with both of you.
I trusted Ridge. I really did. But then this photo. Tell me it isn't passion, Hector. Tell me that Ridge is really trying to just protect my daughter. Tell me that and I'll feel better. Just tell me that that's all that's going on in the picture.
Brooke.
Say it, Hector. Say that that's all that's going on. You can't. so specific about that. My concern was for my daughter, for my little girl. And Rich knew that. He knew that, and he still... How could he do this? How could he do this?
I don't know what you're thinking. But please, don't blame Ridge.
Don't blame him. He took advantage of you. God, Forrester! How unconscionable to know what you've gone through, to know how hard you battled to get over your feelings for him, and to be in the mine shaft. You're practically unconscious, you
Nick,
said.
will you stop? You're doing exactly what Amber was counting on all of us to do. Blame Ridge.
Well, it's not like he didn't have control over Bridget. She didn't have a gun to his head. She didn't force him to kiss you, and she didn't force him to break his promise to your mother.
I know,
It
but...
should have never happened in the first place. Your old man should have come down on him back then. But what makes this even worse is you're not the only victim here. It's you. It's your mother. It's the kids. Don't you see? It's all the same pattern, and it can't happen again.
Don't you ever talk to your mother and me like that again.
Right, I'm just supposed to thank you for believing Amber over me. There was nothing sexual in that kiss. It's not a violation and it's not a betrayal.
It's not how it looks, Rich.
I don't care how it looks, it's how it is.
Yeah, according to you.
I was there. I was there. You weren't. You weren't. Brooke wasn't.
Well, Brooke must be pretty disgusted that she'd actually throw you out of the house.
She wouldn't have been that angry, Mother, unless for you.
Oh, me?
Yeah. You're the one that started her thinking about all these things. Don't
you put this on your mother. The only reason all of this is happening is because of you. That's why we're in this mess.
Right, and Amber is just an innocent bystander.
You're the person who's been running roughshod over everybody these past few months. Over Thorne, over Thomas, over me. There's something wrong with you, Rich. There's something very, very wrong with this. You stay away from my daughter. She's been hurt enough by you. And so has Brooke. Which is why she kicked you out of your house. And why she can't stand the sight of you. Neither can I.
Hmm?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. Really. I just didn't want this to ruin what Mom and Ridge have together.
Well, maybe Forrester should have thought of that before. When he talks to you, you know, he touches you. He pets you. It's been wrong since day one.
I don't think Ridge looks at it that way.
Well, no, why would he? He's above reproach. Everybody looks at him as Mr. Integrity. But I've seen what's gone on with my old man, with your father, Thorne. Everybody's starting to feel how his arrogance is growing. And I'm so glad I made that promise to your mother.
What promise?
I promised if Forrester ever hurt her again, that he'd have me to answer to. And the same goes for you. Brooke, you, the family. They all deserve better. You have been victimized. And so has your mother. And so has the entire family. And somebody's got to call him on it.
Yeah, well, Mom's already done that.
Well, she shouldn't have to. He should never put her in that position. This stops here.
Where are you going? Nick, wait! Nick!
I know how much this hurts, Brooke. I know because I'm a man who raised a daughter alone, who realized from the very first moment I held her in my arms, a child is your most precious jewel. A jewel that has to be protected. Even if it means...
I was hoping you'd tell me I was being irrational, that I was lashing out because I was hurt. I want to hear that I'm wrong, Hector, that I should call Rich and have him come back. But still, if there's a chance that he might be tempted, I fell in love with him the first time I saw him, and I wanted to be his wife and to have his child. And we went through hell and back to make that happen, but we did it. And now, maybe it is the way that Ridge says it is. And I pray to God it is. But still, it comes back around to my husband not doing the one thing that I asked him to do. The one thing he promised he wouldn't do.
Don't beat yourself up over standing up to him, Brooke. It's about time somebody did.
Come on, Sally, pick up the phone. I know you're there. All right, you want to play games? I swear to you, you breathe one word of this to the tabloids, and I will make sure that you regret it for the rest of your life. You hear me?
You are one sick bastard.
Like I care what you think, Nick.
Oh, of course you don't care. You don't care what anybody thinks. Because it's all about you.
Back off, Nick.
Not after what you pulled.
Spare me the lecture.
Maybe you need a nice ass kicking, Forrester, because you've had it coming for a long time.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I know who I'm not. I'm not an outsider anymore, Forrester. These people have become family to me, and they mean a hell of a lot. And this noble, perfect man that they see, well, that's not what I see. I see somebody who's turned his back on his family, rejected the Maroney name. You tried to bury your brother in competition. The man that raised you, you kicked him out of the family business, or you tried to, but I sat back, didn't I? I warned you, but I sat back and said I wouldn't get involved. You remember that?
Yeah, that was a very smart move on your part.
Well, I was wrong. I should have stepped up and said something. I should have forced you to take a look at yourself. Then maybe this wouldn't happen to Brooke and her daughter. You know, Forrester, you amaze me. Brooke worships you. She worships the ground that you walk on. And Bridget, well, look at there. That sweet, innocent little girl, Bridget, who came back home because she was confused about her feelings from you, and all you needed to do was give it the space that it needed, and then this happens. Bet you never were very big on boundaries, were you, Forrester? That's why Brooke and Bridget need protection from you. And I'm gonna make sure that they get it.
Oh, get off it, Nick. This is none of your business. Stay out of it.
I'm making it my business, Forrester. You screwed up. Brooke, Bridget, Eric, Thorne, the kids. That pedestal that they've put you on for years is gone, and things have changed. You're not in charge anymore, Forrester. I'm putting you on notice. From now on, whatever goes on with this family, what's best for the family, you answer to me.